My role at SAP is to work with the business development team to create new partnerships, whether they're ISVs, SIs, or other relationships, and specifically make sure they are valuable to the field and to the product teams as we roll them out. So at SAP, we take a very methodical approach. We look at the product relationship to SAP, the solution relationship and how it fits in the market and the market positioning. We look at the financial fit and the company fit to make sure that the company is low risk and actually meets with the management alignment between the two companies. And we also look at the field and go-to-market fit to make sure that as we go forward, we have something that actually is a good value proposition to our end customer. Specifically on the sales side, we work actively with our sales in each region to make sure that the solution actually is going to be something that's saleable and makes sense to a customer. We will in many cases test it with customers and make sure that is a valid opportunity. And then they'll build a bottoms-up forecast in each region to make sure that we have an appropriate opportunity. So they're very much field-driven sponsorships, and every deal has to have field sponsor, including from the bottom AE rank all the way up to the field executives. And in fact, we will show those deals, including the pipeline, early on to our regional presidents to make sure the field is completely aware of all the deals that are coming, and then finally make sure they're aware on a regular basis what those pipelines look like and which of their people signed up for those deals. So we have a very deep process in the beginning and also a very deep process in the end. We look at our partnerships on a quarterly basis for our strategic partners, and we will look at the revenue they generate, the health they generate, the impacts they've had with customers, the risk they have overall, whether or not anything's changed in their business, what interactions we've had in the field, how the forecasts have gone, what changes in competitive environment, et cetera. We look at that on a quarterly basis for most of those dimensions, and some of them on a semi-annual and annual basis. But there's a scorecard we keep on every one after the fact, and we review it over and over with each of the teams. So the SAP sales team is one of the most impressive in the industry. It's large and has extreme reach that is unparalleled by other companies. Many partners expect us to sell their solutions for them. And as a general rule, that just doesn't work. If a company cannot sell their value proposition and figure out what their value proposition is with a customer, SAP can't sell it for them. And we're generally not going to make markets for companies that they can't make their own market. So the solution has to exist, it has to have a value proposition to a customer, and they have to be able to tell that story and acquire those customers in order for it to be something that actually can scale through the SAP channel. Co-opetition for SAP is a way of life. We generally work with larger partners who have some overlap with us in some areas of our business. We have great relationships with OpenText and HP and many others in which we can work with one division and generally shy away from the competitive natures we would have in others. So at the field level, we generally have relationships with the partners that we actually build very, very close relationships in the sense of forecasting and account planning and active engagement on a weekly or more regular basis. And as a result, what we find is the compensation scheme of the partner needs to be aligned with SAP to make sure that we're all driving towards the same interactions. So the partners should not have compensation programs that compete with SAP closing the business and therefore cause turmoil in the partnership, but instead, in the best practice case, they've aligned their sales force specifically and only comp the sales force for when SAP sells their product. So in order for a partner to gain the hearts and minds of the SAP sales team, they really have to be very customer focused and very engaged with contributing a value proposition, which is an integrated and differentiated solution for SAP and the partner together. We generally find that partnerships that are loosely coupled don't have the same resonance and don't have the same message to the customer, and find that they can fail in the marketplace very easily. Where we get aligned and we have a differentiated solution, we can now have a very different relationship in the field, and those breed the most success.